Hey guys, it's Cindy over paper.old.new. Thanks for coming in and spending some time with me today. I am working on making from my mess with fabric. And as you can see, I've got some Amazon packaging here. I wanted to, this is something I made up. So, and if you do it outside of a book, I came up with this as a way to attach something to these little flips, something new and different, at least for me anyway. So I made this. I keep forgetting. This crinkles. I'm working on the sound thing. I think I mentioned it in a video a while back. I'm trying to find a way around this program, but unless I'm talking, it does not pick up that crinkly noise. Watch. See how quiet it got? Yeah, that's really annoying. Anyway, so I made these little pages, and basically it leaves this part open to glue onto here. Okay, and then you can decorate that up however you want to, and you've got a cute little, isn't that adorable? And it makes this fun little crinkly page. And you can put pockets and stuff on here. There's nothing that says you can't decorate this up like you've got this paper back here. So what you could do is put your fabric down, right? And then stick a tuck on here out of scrapbook paper or whatever. You can put a little tuck on here, and that would be a lot of fun. But we're going to glue this into this book, okay? And then I'm going to show you how to make one. So I'm going to just take my Fabri-Tac, and I'm going to put glue up the back of this piece. These are kitten golden books that, remember, I've discovered that I really like making golden books with an extra golden book so that I have, I didn't smush that. So that I have stuff to use to decorate with. Yeah, so these little kitten books have been put on hold until I can get a second copy. Okay, so we'll put that on there like that, and then we flip this over, and we're going to glue down the other side. Now, I have to admit, I don't know if anybody has tried doing this. And if I was making the signatures and I didn't have the book sewn together yet, I would take this over to my sewing machine probably and stitch it to the cardstock, and I would make it to fit better. But for this, I just was making it so that I could get it into the book easily. So I'm going to show you how I did it if you want to use it to extend one of the, and look at that. And even if it sticks out, it's fabric. So who cares? And you could put a ruffle on the end of there. I just sewed it basic. And then I figured if I wanted ruffles or anything like that, I could hot glue it, or I could take it back to my sewing machine and stitch again. It's just this. It's Amazon packaging. Okay, and I'm going to tell you how I made this, because I have another spot in this book, and then my other two kitten golden books, I think, have one each. I don't know why this one had two. I think I already put something on the ones in the other books. So I don't think I needed one. I only needed one for each of the other kitten books. And I think one of them I had already glued over all of it, so I didn't need any. So this is what we're doing. Now, there's an inch here of stuff that I just want to be sandwiched between the two pieces of fabric. So the piece that you cut to go in here needs to sit like that. So I measured across here and I said I want a 6.5 inch page. So I made my piece 5.5 inches wide. This is for a little golden book. So if you're doing any other thing, you'll have to do it based on whatever measurements you have for your book. But for a little golden book, I was going to make the whole page 6.5 inches. I subtracted this inch from the package insert. Okay, I did not subtract it from the fabric, but I subtracted it from the package insert. So the package insert is 5.5 inches, and then 7.75 inches high. The fabric is the same height as the package insert. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. And I found this piece of fabric, which I really, really want to put in here. Now, I will say this. This piece of fabric is only 12 inches wide. It was from my scrap bin. So, to make up for the inch, what I think I'm going to do, let me see how much overhang I had on the other one. Okay, so we had a good amount, but if I take a whole inch off of there, I'm only going to have like 1/4 of an inch to glue. The trials and tribulations of paper crafting. Okay, this is what we're going to do. I'm going to close this. I'm going to get it out of my way. And I'm going to think on this. And while I'm thinking on this, I'm going to show you how I did this. This isn't rocket science, but I'm going to show you anyway. So this was my long side. This package was like this long. So I used the long side to get the height, the 7 3/4. That came from this. And I have enough to do another set, which is really cool because I need 2 more of these for my other 2 little golden books. I need them long. So I'm going to cut these at 7 3/4. This is my height. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 3/4, right there. That was right here, I believe. Now before I did this standing up, but we're going to try and do it. I'm going to try and do it sitting down. I cut my fabric with a ruler and a roller also on my grid, which is, how people cut fabric, like quilts and stuff. All right, and then I have this piece, which, not for nothing, you could probably use it for something. I could make a crinkly page thing. I don't know. Throw it over there with all my other packaging. Okay, and then we're going to cut 2 of these at 5 1/2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 1/2. I'm going to use my little ruler because 5 1/2 right here. The glare from my overhead light on these metal rulers is insane. Okay, so that's one. And then I'm going to spin this one around and we're going to cut another one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right here. The reason I did that is because if I cut, I guess it's got, no, actually this is a middle piece. So if I was to cut 5 1/2 inches from this end, I would end up with 2 pieces that I would then have to glue together. This has an edge on it, so it holds the 2 pieces, the 2 layers together, which is why I flipped it around. So, okay, and then I have my 2 pieces for my inserts, for other inserts. I think this is the one I'll use since it doesn't have any. And if I flip it around, it doesn't matter. Okay, now, what I was saying before, I didn't cut this yet. Okay, so basically I cut the fabric like this. I'm going to take this, I need my height now. I have 12 inches of fabric. So we're going to try it and see what kind of an extender I can put on this. And I'm going to cut to 7 3/4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Actually, I think I cut it to 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I'm going to cut a strip off of here. I don't know if you could ruffle this. It's kind of thick. So, see, and that works because that's what this is, right? A fabric roller, ruffle thingy, whatever. All right, and then we go like this, and I basically just put it in here. Oh, I don't want it all the way. And I wrap this around, and I just get it to wherever it needs to be to get, okay? And I don't have a lot of a lip. So for this one, we're going to need to add, I'm going to need to add something on here. Not exactly what I wanted to do, but it'll have to do. Question is, what do I want to add? This will be good, though, because it'll let us know that we can do this even when we don't have enough of the fabric. Because you can always piece, right? Actually, what you could do All right, let me get 2 8-inch pieces of this. And I want 2 because I want one for the back and one for the front. Okay. We're going to let this be my extension. And this would be a lot better if I could sew it, but since it's already in the book, it is what it is. Okay, so this is going to be my extension. Now, the way I did this last time was I got the fabric piece where I wanted it. And so that it would hold when I stuck it under my sewing machine, I basically laid this open. Get this, I'm going to stand up for a second so I can see. Okay, I'm going to center this. I'm going to make sure this folds over. I'll scoot it a little bit more. Make sure this folds over so I have even edges. Everything looks even. Okay, and I've got a little bit up here and a little bit down there. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to open this up and I'm going to take double-sided tape. You don't need a lot. This just has to hold it while it's in the sewing machine. So one there, and then I'm going to bring this and I'm going to lay it over. Okay? And I just need it to stick to the tape until I can get it sewn. All right, and then we're going to open this back up and we're going to put 2 pieces on this side. Now, as far as my lace extender goes, you can sew it on the inside or you can sew it on the outside, depending on whether or not you want it to be seen. So, like, I can stick it under here like this and sew it to the end of the fabric, or I can stick it over top like that and sew it to the end of the fabric so that you see it on the outside. I don't guess it really matters either way. I guess it depends on, like I said, whether or not you want this to be seen. Now, if I'm going to do what I said I was going to do and put tucks on here, then you're not going to see any of it. And I might only do that on one side. Okay, let me see. Sorry. Okay, so we're going to look in here real quick. All right, so this is gray and this is white. So this side will probably get a tuck. I also am going to have this side be the more plain side of this. So you have all these flowers on this side. There's not as much. Okay, so that's going to be the plain side. So on this side, I might have it on the outside, and on the other side, I'll have it on the inside. And then if I want to keep the gray, I can. Okay, and I'm going to scoot it over a little bit. I don't know how much I'm going to need. I have a little bit of a lip. A little bit. So, and this is 2 inches wide. So I can probably go almost all the way over to this flower on there. I'll let the flowers hang over just a tad. I know, exactly what you wanted to watch. Okay, and then on the other side, now for this, I'm not going to stick tape under there because, for obvious reasons, and I want to take it right to my sewing machine, so I don't really want to put glue on it and let it dry. So I'm going to try and be as careful as I possibly can. And I'm going to take this one, I'm going to put it on the inside. I'm going to try and line them up so they're about even. And then I'm going to run this over to my sewing machine. Guys, my sewing machine is not on camera. I don't have any way to really film over there so that you can see what I'm doing. So I'm just going to go over there real quick and sew this down, and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. So here we go, all stitched together. Now, I have opening here, okay? And I'm going to stick it as far in there as I can so that hopefully the fabric is what gets glued down more than the lace. And if worse comes to worse and the lace sits too far back into the spine, I can just trim it off. So this is my page insert. If I had, like I said, if they weren't in the signature, I would just take it over to my sewing machine and run the stitch up with the page sandwiched in there. And that way it would be, I wouldn't have to worry about all of this. I would just sandwich the page in there and then run it through my machine. But I don't have that option because these pages are already in the book. Okay, and I think I decided I wanted this page up. So it's going to go on here. Yeah, I cut okay, so I let too much lace overhang, which is okay. Let's just trim. I think what we'll do is we'll cut right along the tops of the flowers, and I hope that's far enough. I didn't do any measuring to get the lace on there, so I just kind of eyeballed it, and it was a little too far out. Okay, so we'll do that, and then I'll do it on the back. We'll glue this down. I hope you like this idea. I just kind of was staring at these pages, wondering what I was going to do with these flaps, and then we started doing this making with my fabric mess, and I was like, what if I stuck a fabric page? And my thought at first had been to just take a piece of fabric and fold it over on itself and then glue it in the book, like stitch around it and glue it in the book. And then I thought, what if I stuck Amazon packaging in there? I don't know, guys. Sometimes my brain. Okay. All right. So we've got that to put on there. Now, this is upholstery fabric, and I'm debating on whether or not to hot glue it. What I could do, let's see, get that up under there and put glue under there first. I'm going to glue the packaging to the scrapbook paper right there like that. I'm hoping that that takes. And then we're going to glue all of this down. So I'm just going to put a whole bunch of glue in here and hope that it holds the upholstery fabric. I'm winging and prayering it again, guys. We love winging and prayer crafting, don't we? Okay. And then down back in this area, behind where the lace is probably seeping up. Oh, no, it's not even getting to there. Okay, well, fine then. Okay. Now very carefully, we're going to turn the page. Oh, maybe I shouldn't. Ooh, the lace came up. Okay, we might be stuck, guys. Okay. Oh, even with the sewing, this didn't take as long as I thought it was going to. All right. I mean, there's not really a lot more to explain to you, and I'm afraid to move this one. So let's try, hold on. I'm going to put this up here to dry. And what I think we'll do, hold on, is we have this one. This is the Charlie book. Okay, he's got lots of bright colors. And I want to say, I didn't mark these pages very well. We're hunting, guys, we're hunting. No, guess it was up front. He still needs tape. I've got that piece. Is that the piece? Oh no, here, there's this piece. I might not do them both though, because I don't know that I want two right there next to each other like that. Hang on. I'm wondering if maybe I shouldn't see, this is flowers, and we're leaving the city where it's all drab and, fires and back alleys and all these city textures. But we're coming into this lush green garden area, and I'm wondering if it wouldn't be kind of fun to have this. It's brown, so like the place he's leaving, but it's flowers, like the place he's going to. And I've told you guys before, my brain functions by at least part of the aesthetic of the story being a part of my decorating. So I kind of have to go in that direction. I don't know. I could probably put it on there. Let's see, do I want to put it there or do I want to put it where the other one is? Here. I do not, because this is brown. So we're going to stick it here. Okay. All right, I got to measure a piece of fabric here, guys. So this one will get the right measurement, so we should be able to get it in there okay. So let's take a strip off of here that is, oh my goodness, I'm going to have to cut this way first. Let's take a strip off of here that is 7 3/4. Get everything out of my way. Okay, so approximately 8. That's what I've been doing, right? 8. This is so wrinkly, it's going to be hard to find. So right about there. Oh, stay straight. I'm going to do a little bit past 8 just because of all the folds and everything that are pulling at it. I don't want it to be too small. I'm going to go just a little past 8. I know it's already bigger than the packaging to begin with, but I'm really, really worried because this is so wrinkly that I'm not going to get the, you know what? I appreciate you being difficult. My blade is missing in spots. I'm sure it's spots where I let up on the pressure as I'm rolling. Okay, so that's my 7 3/4. I could have gone and gotten his binding fabric and put it in here, but since this is where our page is, I think this is a better fit. Okay, and then we're going to get one that is, we need this to be 13 inches long. I might do 13 and a half because the shy little kitten one came up short. So I might do 13 and a half. After all the stitching and everything, it came up a little short. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. We're going to go 13 and a half. So we're going to go right here. Is my phone saying hi? Somebody's saying hi. Might just be Verizon. They keep sending me, upgrade your phone. Like, I don't want to. I like my phone. That bugged me. Okay. So here's my piece. Okay, we're going to work with this one. Again, we're going to put it in here. This time I'm going to try and get my overhang. So I want to see about how much overhang I'm going to be able to get out of it. And then that'll tell me where to put my, okay, that's decent. So we're going to put the bag right about there. And I've got space at top and bottom. Now, when you're done sewing, I always try to catch the bag at the top and the bottom and along the front side, around the folded side. I do, and I catch the bag here too, because I want to sew back here, because I want this to open. So when you're sewing along here, if you don't want the excess fabric, you can always trim it off after you're done with your stitching. So we're going to put down our tape. I'm trying to hold the bag as still as possible. And we're going to fold this over and try and smooth it out some. I mean, best bet would have been to iron it, but I don't even like ironing clothes. Okay. I mean, obviously when it's warranted, I do it, but I don't like it. All right, and I'm going to put this one here. Now that the back is attached, we can kind of pull a little tighter and hopefully get this on here not crooked. That's the other thing is if you put it on here crooked and it's hanging off at the top and bottom differently, that might be another reason that you trim it after you stitch it. All right, guys, back to my sewing machine I go. I'm back. Here it is. All right, so I have all my space, and we're going to glue this. Now, again, I mean, ideally connecting the page, because it's going to be very like bendable right there unless you stick something else in there. So ideally connecting the page, like trying to overlap this piece onto whatever you're gluing to is probably best. So I did end up making them too long. We're going to cut a little bit off. I might have to do this in stages because I don't want to go too far. Try again. So my fabric comes to there. Okay, it hits. Question is that enough? You know, on this side it seems to be. All right, I'm going to take a little bit more off. Not a lot, just a smidge. So this keeps catching and not cutting. All right, hang on a sec. Okay, sorry, my son got home from wherever it was he was and was letting me know he was home. Okay, one more shot. I think we got it this time, although the page is a bit bigger than the book. But look, isn't that cute? I'm loving these. Okay, I'm going to trim the top and bottom now that we've got the side the way we want it. And basically, the only reason I'm really using the ruler, it's not necessarily to make everything straight. I don't care if the fabric is straight. It can be ratty and kind of, you know, but I do want it to be, I need an edge to go against. Ew. No, it's very often that I'm cutting on fabric like this or cutting on paper and it gets on the aluminum and makes a funny noise. And I'm like, this is why they use these rollers with acrylic rulers when they're doing quilting. Because that noise is awful and probably not good for the blade. But, you know. Come on, you can do it. Like, literally the only thing you're supposed to do. Goodness. I don't know if it's, I don't know. Anyway, all right. Guys, I was worried that this idea wasn't going to work, if I'm honest. I'm so thrilled that it did. Okay, so we're going to put glue all over this side, and we're going to lay it on this side. And then we'll do the other side. So I hope you guys like this idea. Like I said, I was trying to come up with something to extend this flap. And I said, well, when we started doing this fabric stuff, I was like, well, what if I put a piece of fabric around the flap and fold it over on itself? I think I'm going to have to fix the fabric on the other side. And just kind of like make a little fabric flip page. And then I got a package in the mail. I think that's what did it. I got a package in the mail. And I said, wait a minute. I have an even better idea. What if I put Amazon packaging inside the page and put it on the thing? Because Lord only knows we all love the sound of crinkly, crackly paper. So how cool would it be if a whole page in your journal did the crinkly, crackly thing? All right, see, now I have to fix this side. Got all folded under and go right to the edge, but that's okay because we always have our tuck idea. So I can always take this and we can stick a piece of paper over it and make a tuck. Could do something like that. Glue that on there, and then you have a tuck on your fabric page. Or take it over to the sewing. Well, no, I can't. I stuck it in the book. I can't do the take it over the sewing machine thing. But I can put this down as a tuck. And have a tuck in my. I'm liking this idea. Can you tell? What I really want to do is hot glue it. Let me cut it. I do want it to be sturdy, so I am going to leave it. I mean, I'm going to have to glue it, but I am going to leave the piece on there. Okay, so let me glue this closed. I want to reinforce it, especially since it's on the fabric. I'm just worried that it's gonna. I don't know what I'm worried. Worry about nothing. Usually what I do. Worry about silly stuff. Okay, and then that'll be my tuck. Like I needed another pocket to fill. This is from the other book. The pieces from the other book to decorate the pocket. Or maybe just this. I don't know. I'm going to glue it down. I'll worry about decorating it later. I'm hoping that the glue is going to hold. I mean, it is Fabri-Tac. It probably means I'm not going to be able to mess with it. So I don't know if we're going to be able to do any decorating. But my idea for this was to just give you the check out this page concept. So I wasn't really planning on decorating anything. And I'm not sure. This is probably going to need binder clips or something. Ooh. It's going to need binder clips to make it stay. Okay. Give me a sec, guys. So make sure that it glues down all right. So I'm just going to stick these on there and let it hold. I think the back is pretty good. I'm so excited that these pages worked. You have no idea. Well, and you can hear it when I'm talking. So I'll whisper like this. And you can hear the crinkle. Isn't that cool? I love it. Okay, guys, I'm going to let you go. This was kind of short because, you couldn't watch me sew or anything. And we got 3 of them made. And I am so excited with how these turn out. It's glued down, but it popped up. I don't know how. Hey, guys, there's a job for my hot glue gun. Okay, guys, I'm going to let you go. You get the idea. This is going to be in here like this. That hasn't even been glued down yet. I'm probably going to do hot glue on this side too, just so that I can make sure that everything holds. So I'm going to hot glue this, but you have the idea of how these are made. I love how this turns out. I like the way these colors go. I'm really excited about these. I hope you'll give them a try. Remember the measurements that I gave you were specifically for little golden books. If you want to do this, make sure that you take measurements of your book. Give yourself space. Do it before you sew your signatures in. And I will see you hopefully with another idea for fabric. If not, we'll move on to something else, or we'll just start making with random things for a little while. But that's it for me for now. Guys, God bless you for being here, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.